Argentina beat England 2-1 after a late collapse, but the final consequence is bigger than England's heartbreak. Tablo Sports has the result, the tactical fallout, and the claims that still need proof. A Falklands banner report is unconfirmed, while Thomas Tuchel keeps FA backing. Now, Argentina's late comeback changes the World Cup final. England were minutes from the final, and then Argentina turned the match into a warning about what happens when a team stops attacking the game. Start with the result, because the timing tells the story. Argentina beat England 2-1 with a late comeback to reach the 2026 World Cup final. The easy headline is England's collapse, but Argentina's late response deserves equal billing. Argentina didn't need a perfect 90 minutes, they needed a decisive final 7. For England, the consequence is immediate. The final is gone, and the third-place playoff remains. England led 1-0 in the semi-final, but Argentina scored twice late to win 2-1. Enzo Fernandez equalized in the 85th minute, and Lautaro Martinez headed the winner in the 92nd. That's the entire emotional shape of the match in two numbers, 85 and 92. Argentina's comeback sends the defending champions into another World Cup final, where they'll face Spain on Sunday. England's campaign, meanwhile, has moved from possible glory to a playoff against France. The frustration for England is obvious because the opportunity was real. They weren't chasing an impossible deficit, they were protecting a lead. Once Argentina equalized, the pressure flipped instantly, and Martinez punished the uncertainty with a stoppage-time header. Argentina scored in the 85th and 92nd minutes. That's not a lucky late wobble floating in isolation, it's a complete reversal of the tournament's most important knockout game so far. England have a post-match diagnosis to make, while Argentina have a final to prepare for. The result is confirmed. The political claim circulating around Argentina's celebrations isn't. That distinction matters now, because a possible disciplinary story can grow faster than the evidence behind it. Falklands banner report involving Argentina players is unconfirmed in the supplied evidence. The report is being treated by some people like a charge, but no FIFA action is confirmed. The supplied evidence confirms Argentina's victory and doesn't verify that players displayed a Falklands-related banner. Turning an unconfirmed incident into a sanctioned headline would be careless. A report involving a Falklands or Malvinas banner has circulated after Argentina's semi-final win. However, the supplied evidence doesn't substantiate the incident as an established fact. There's no confirmed FIFA charge, and there's no confirmed punishment. Argentina beat England 2-1, and any disciplinary question would need formal evidence and a formal process. Online debate can be loud, but volume isn't a governing document. Until investigators confirm what was displayed, who was involved, and whether rules were breached, the responsible line is simple. The banner report remains unconfirmed in the supplied evidence. The semi-final defeat has created plenty of online criticism, but it hasn't created a managerial change. The Football Association's response is the first major consequence after England's elimination. Thomas Tuchel retains FA backing and plans to lead England into Euro 2028. Sack speculation is louder than the official position. Thomas Tuchel remains England head coach, and the FA says his contract runs through Euro 2028. That backing gives Tuchel time, but it also removes the excuse of a quick reset. Thomas Tuchel retains the Football Association's backing after England's 2-1 defeat by Argentina. FA Chief Executive Mark Bullingham supports him, and Tuchel said England will continue under his contract through the home Euros in 2028. The criticism isn't imaginary. England led the semi-final and then conceded twice late, so supporters are asking whether the team became too cautious at the worst possible moment. Still, online anger isn't official opposition, and there's no confirmed resignation or dismissal. For now, Tuchel stays, and the scrutiny stays with him. Tuchel's backing matters, but his own diagnosis is sharper than the boardroom message. He's admitted that England's response to the lead changed the match. Tuchel says England became too passive after taking the lead against Argentina. The tactical criticism has a direct source. Tuchel says England became too passive. That doesn't prove one substitution or one decision caused the defeat, but it identifies the central matchday problem. A team can defend a lead without surrendering initiative. England struggled to do both. England led Argentina 1-0, then gradually allowed the semi-final to become a test of survival. Tuchel said his team got too passive after taking the lead, and Argentina eventually scored twice after the 85th minute. That admission matters because it cuts through the usual post-match fog. Tuchel pointed to behavior. England stopped imposing themselves strongly enough on the game. The issue is whether England's deeper block and reduced attacking threat invited Argentina forward. Once the equalizer arrived, England no longer had the comfort of the lead, yet they'd already surrendered some control. The 92nd minute winner made the cost visible. The final pairing is still coming, and Spain's control gives Argentina a completely different problem. Tuchel described passivity from the dugout. Harry Kane's reaction shows the same frustration from inside the England dressing room. Harry Kane says trying to hold a 1-0 lead was not enough against Argentina. Kane's comments support the idea that England tried to protect the score rather than keep threatening Argentina. The captain's words capture accountability without turning the defeat into a retirement story. England's attack didn't need endless risk, but it needed enough threat to stop Argentina settling near the box. England captain Harry Kane said trying to hold a 1-0 lead was not enough against Argentina. His assessment matches the shape of the defeat. England had the advantage, but the advantage became something they tried to preserve rather than use. Kane remains a Bayern Munich player, and there's no international retirement announcement here. The relevant point is his judgment on the match. A 1-goal lead in a World Cup semi-final is valuable, but it isn't a force field. Kane's frustration will resonate with supporters because England didn't lose from a position of total inferiority. They lost after taking control of the scoreline, then failing to protect the rest of the match. Kane gave the tactical frustration. Dan Burn has given the emotional cost, and that cost is especially heavy because England were so close to Sunday's final. Dan Burn says England's semi-final defeat by Argentina will haunt him. Burn's reaction reflects a missed opportunity, not a complete failure of the tournament. His words show how sharply the late goals have landed with England's players. The third-place playoff against France is still ahead, but it won't erase the final that disappeared. England defender Dan Burn said the semi-final defeat by Argentina will haunt him for a long time. England led, Argentina scored in the 85th minute, and Martinez delivered the winner in the 92nd. Burn plays for Newcastle United and remains an England defender. His reaction isn't a prediction about his future, and England haven't been eliminated from every remaining fixture. They'll face France in the third-place playoff. A playoff can offer a result and a medal, but it can't recreate the final England were trying to reach. England's collapse decided one finalist. Spain's 2-0 win over France decided the other, setting up a final built around two very different ways of controlling danger. Spain and Argentina will meet in the 2026 World Cup final. The final is Spain's collective control against Argentina's late knockout resilience. The popular conversation may drift toward Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal, but the team structures will decide how those stars receive the ball. Argentina have momentum. Spain have shown they can manage a semifinal without drama. Spain beat France 2-0, while Argentina beat England 2-1, so the final is set for Sunday. Spain arrive after a controlled semifinal, with Mikel Oyarzabal and Pedro Porro scoring. Argentina arrive after a comeback that required late pressure and a decisive bench contribution. Spain's strength is collective control, while Argentina have shown they can survive a match that turns chaotic and still find the winning action. A final can punish either style. Control becomes sterile, or resilience becomes unnecessary stress. Fans are already discussing Lionel Messi against Lamine Yamal, but the matchup won't be reduced to one famous name on each side. Spain will test Argentina's ability to defend long periods without the ball, while Argentina will test whether Spain can cope when the game becomes physical and emotionally unstable. Spain didn't need a last-gasp rescue act. They beat France 2-0 and gave Argentina a tactical reference point before Sunday. Spain reached the 2026 World Cup final after beating France 2-0. Spain's victory deserves attention for its structure, not just its clean scoreline. Mikel Oyarzabal and Pedro Porro supplied the goals, but the collective control is the bigger final warning. France are no longer title contenders in this tournament. The remaining consequence is the third-place playoff. Spain defeated France 2-0 in the semi-final, with Mikel Oyarzabal and Pedro Porro scoring. The result sends Spain into the final against Argentina, and gives them the composed platform England couldn't maintain. Spain controlled the match without leaning entirely on one superstar to rescue them, and that matters against Argentina, who've just proved how dangerous they are when a game opens late. The tactical question is whether Spain can impose that control when Argentina starts attacking the emotional temperature of the final. And now we return to the player who turned Argentina's comeback into qualification. The winner wasn't abstract resilience, it was Lautaro Martinez attacking one decisive moment. Lautaro Martinez's stoppage-time header sends Argentina into the World Cup final. Martinez's goal is the clearest example of Argentina's bench changing the outcome. The Inter Milan forward entered as a substitute and scored the winner in the 92nd minute. That's why the final against Spain begins with Argentina's late threat already established. Lautaro Martinez came off the bench and headed Argentina's winner in the 92nd minute of the 2-1 semi-final victory over England. He completed a comeback that had begun with Enzo Fernandez's equalizer in the 85th. The goal matters beyond the celebration. Argentina needed a forward who could attack the final ball with conviction, and Martinez supplied it immediately. England had spent too long protecting the lead. Suddenly, one header decided the tournament's direction. Argentina beat England 2-1 with a late comeback to reach the 2026 World Cup final, and Lautaro Martinez's 92nd-minute header is the moment that made the promise real. The tournament now has 2 men's matches left, and the broadcast plan is confirmed. The football has narrowed, but the weekend schedule still has real stakes. BBC to show England-France playoff and World Cup final live. BBC TV will show both remaining men's World Cup matches live. England-France is a third-place playoff, while Argentina-Spain is the final, and those games shouldn't be treated as equivalent. The access is confirmed. Any claim of exclusive global rights would go beyond the supplied evidence. BBC TV will show Saturday's third-place playoff between England and France and Sunday's World Cup final live. England face France after losing to Argentina, while Argentina face Spain for the trophy. That gives England one final competitive fixture after the semi-final collapse, although it won't repair the missed final opportunity. France will want a response after Spain's 2-0 victory. Then comes Argentina against Spain, the game that now carries the entire tournament's title consequence. BBC's live coverage is confirmed, but this isn't a claim of exclusive global rights. It's the confirmed way many viewers can follow the final week. England's collapse, Tuchel's continued backing, and the unconfirmed banner report all sit behind the main fact. Argentina beat England 2-1 with a late comeback to reach the 2026 World Cup final. Spain will bring control, Argentina will bring late danger, and Sunday will decide whether resilience finishes the job or finally meets its limit.